we're back for the second segment of the February 17th Trips and Traps. Andy Serling, Eric Donovan.
And we got two more races to bring you this week. We'll take a look at the 7th race from February 12th on Saturday. It's a New York-bred 3-year-old special weight going a mile. We're going to look at the 3 Appian Way. It was 40-1 in this race.
Yeah, Appian Way, he was a hard luck loser this race. I'm not saying, and I don't know if Eric is either, that he would have won, but I think you could make a case he ran the best race of anybody here.
Yeah, the winner is Surfactant, the heavy favorite in this race. The one horse that goes out and establishes the lead a little bit off the rail here.
Yeah, the 3 is getting in trouble, Appian Way. You see him in the green back there between horses, and he gets bumped around. We're going to show you the head-on of this. I mean, he has a nightmare trip, steadying out at the start, ends up back of the field. And don't forget, the winner won on the front end. The horse who was second sits a pocket trip right behind him, and they were the first and second choices. Appian Way outran his odds, and he really ran here. First time going long.
Yeah, and he was a little rank around the first turn there. We see him toward the back of the pack right now, probably about 7 or 8 lengths off the lead set by Surfactant here. Another thing to consider Appian Way was that he'd run twice, a couple of times, both in sprints. The last one was a maiden claiming race, and he really seemed outclassed in this race, and that the further distance might be a bit of an issue for him in here, but he really overcame those two factors and really ran quite well.
Yeah, no, he showed that the distance was the right distance for him, and he could have easily been in a much different spot in this race, in a more contending spot early, had he not had the trouble at the start. Considering how the race was run, I don't think the dynamics in that case would have played against him. It's a horse that Maggie thought looked very good in the paddock, which is also worth noting. Maybe we'll see what he looks like next time he runs here at the racetrack. Pay attention to Maggie. But Appian Way, he starts to make a run here, and you see him moving into the picture. And not only does he make this nice run from here, but he'll have some trouble in the stretch because the horse who runs second, there was an inquiry. He didn't do anything enough to get disqualified, but he does drift out, bother the horse outside him a little bit, and it goes into Appian Way. And you could argue he has a little more trouble after that. Here's the eventual second place finisher in there. And watch him. You can see him on the left-hand stick. He comes out a little bit. Appian Way is still making this nice run on the outside. There will be a little bit of sort of swooshing here, right in here, right now. You can see that horse coming out. Appian Way does fine, though.
Yeah, very, very nice effort considering the trouble at the start and the first turn, being able to come off the turn wide there and finish up well against this loose on the lead, or not loose on the lead, but heavy favorite on the lead here. And we see the trouble at the start. A little slow, pinballed after the start there, and just comes off last.
Yeah, it shows what happens. He jumps up at the start. You break a little slowly, and you really get yourself in trouble when they bounce around after the start. But the truth is, he just had nothing go his own way in that race from dynamics and the early trouble. Appian Way had much improved effort. He's not going to be 40-1 next time, but he ran very well.
One more race to bring you. We'll take a look at the 10th race from Saturday. We're looking at X-Pat and the one-horse Jello Shot.
Yeah, if you bet Jello Shot, you should have collected money in this race. He breaks a little slowly right here on the inside. X-Pat also comes out slowly. X-Pat runs 10th in this race, but as you're going to see, boy, Junior Alvarado does an amazing job, and he's done this a couple of times. You're going to watch it right in here, they're back here, but watch X-Pat here, because he clips heels, and literally, Junior Alvarado does an amazing job staying on in here.
It seems like about the 4th or 5th time this meet that Alvarado's almost been tossed off a horse shortly after the start, and loses the irons, takes a little bit of a time to find the irons back there, but once he does, he's trying to, he's kind of forced to get the X-Pat up into position a little bit, and the only way to do that is to make some kind of a wide run, and X-Pat's going to put in a pretty decent wide run in here before folding up shop at the top of the stretch.
Right, and the favorite who is on the lead in this race runs second, the Buana Jake. The winner is sitting 5th here. You've got X-Pat moving on the outside here, getting back in the race a little bit, all things considered. And Jello Shot is all the way in the back of the pack after breaking a little slowly, and he just gets shuffled back, and you see him here on the outside in the red making that big run. There's X-Pat in front of him. But boy, Jello Shot, he puts in some run.
He does put in some run, and you see the eventual winner sitting just in front of those horses in the green cap Intrepid, who gets a much better trip, and Jello Shot was spun wide off the turn as well. You see X-Pat start to pack it in there, but Jello Shot comes with a sustained run. A horse that's definitely moving in the right direction for trainer Pat Kelly.
Yeah, in a similar spot, he could easily beat these fields. And not saying that X-Pat has to win next time he runs, but X-Pat was dropping down precipitously in this race, was the second choice at $2.90 to $1. I think you can throw this race out. He absolutely had a major excuse in this race. If you think he fits the next time he runs in a similar field, take a shot. You missed your chance with 9-1 on Jello Shot. Will be a shorter price, but he's the best horse in my opinion coming out of this race.
All right, well, that'll do it for this week's episode of Trips and Traps. Once again, there's the email address for your comments, tripsandtraps@NYRAinc.com.